Hello everyone, this is Nico from BMWBLOG, and I'm here to tell you how to set up Apple CarPlay in your new BMW. Apple CarPlay is one of those features that I honestly can't live without anymore. Typically I'm an old school guy and I like, simpler technology. However, the ease and convenience of Apple CarPlay is, I just can't go back. BMW's Apple CarPlay is interesting because it's wireless. Most automakers don't have wireless Apple CarPlay, only a few. BMW, Audi, I think Mercedes-Benz, but most of them you have to plug in a wire. So for wireless CarPlay, it can be a bit confusing for newcomers who are new to this sort of technology on how to set it up. So here, I'm going to tell you how to set up wireless Apple CarPlay in your new BMW. Now, I actually already had CarPlay set up with my phone in this car. This is the new BMW X3 M40i, the facelifted version. So I already had it set up because I've been driving it for a day, but I just recently disconnected it before I started this video. So here's what you have to do. First, you go to your main iDrive screen here, and you can either go to the communications icon there. You can either touch it, or let's go back to home. You can use the rotary dial down here, and you can go up to COM for communications and just click that. Now, it immediately takes me to mobile devices, which that's where you want to go, but if not, obviously you select mobile devices. And here it actually says known devices, but my phone is there. But let's start starting from scratch here. So we're going to move over to new device. So you can tilt the rotary dial over to the right. You actually click it or tilt it in all four directions, or turn it like this. So you can tilt it over to the right, which will take you to this side menu here on the right side, or you can just touch new device. Now, I would recommend using the rotary dial. If you're driving, you admittedly shouldn't be doing this while you're driving. Let's start off with that. You should not be doing this while driving. You should be doing it stationary, so touching it is fine. But if you prefer the rotary dial, that's fine as well. So you want to click on new device. Now at the top, there are three different options: phone calls and audio, screen mirroring, and apps. But you want phone calls and audio. So you want to click that, either touch it or use the rotary dial, and then go into the Bluetooth setting on your phone. Now, when you go into the Bluetooth setting on your phone, you will wait. Now, see the car recognized my phone, so it says my phone down there. Now, my phone is still trying to find the car. So it found my phone. So I'm going to click on that, and now it should prompt me on my phone to pair to the car. And it did. So I'm going to do that. And it asks me if I want to allow contacts and all that. So I'm going to allow that so all my contacts sync over. Now here is where it gets interesting, because that just paired the Bluetooth. Now there's a prompt on my phone that says use CarPlay with BMW. So let's see that there. Use CarPlay with BMW. So I'm going to click that, use CarPlay. And now CarPlay is on my my screen here. So I can put my phone away, either in the little cubby down there or in the storage bin over here, wherever. And now I have Apple CarPlay on the screen, and it's really, really nice. So I have my whole phone is here. So I have my my phone calls, my messages, now playing. So whatever kind of media you're playing, my BMW app. I have my podcasts, my Apple Podcasts, Google Maps, Waze, Spotify, any of that stuff. So I can just kind of use my phone, which is really, really, really nice. Now, I like to listen to podcasts a lot, so let's go. My favorite is the Conan O'Brien podcast, so that's what's on top. But I have a ton of other podcasts. Spotify, all my playlists are there. And what's nice is it's touchscreen, right? So like every other phone, or like every other infotainment system and your phone. So it's touchscreen, but you can also use the rotary dial down here. Oh, gesture control is triggering. So you can use the rotary dial down here, which is interesting because it's like a physical controller to use your phone, which is odd because your phone is entirely touchscreen. But it does make navigating the CarPlay menu much easier while you're driving, so that's good. So there are a few reasons why Apple CarPlay, for me, is a must-have. One is maps. So I don't really enjoy using any auto manufacturer's built-in navigation system, BMW's included. Actually, BMW's navigation system has taken me the long way, in like the weird way, to certain long destinations, long distance destinations, and it's added time to my trip, and that's frustrating. But I use both interchangeably. So if I just, on the left side here of the screen, you have like your kind of like most recently used apps. So at the top I have Google Maps, Spotify, and my phone calls. But let's go to Google Maps right there. So now I have this gigantic map screen, and searching for any destination is easy. Just touch the screen or use the dial here. You know, you click this little search icon, and now you have a lot of quick items here. So home, work, anything that's programmed in, gas stations, restaurants, safe places. It's all nice and easy. But if you want to search for a destination you don't have, pre-programmed in here, or somewhere you've never been, you have the little microphone icon at the top. You just click that, and it's voice activated, and you just say a destination, and it'll take you to that destination. So that's wireless Apple CarPlay in a nutshell. It's surprisingly easy to set up. A lot of BMW customers are new to this sort of technology because wireless Apple CarPlay is a relatively new technology. So there may be some customers that are a bit apprehensive or a bit overwhelmed by this sort of tech, and this shows you that it's actually very easy to set up, and once it is set up, it's incredibly intuitive and easy to use. And the nice part is you only have to set it up once. So now every time I get in the car, as long as my Bluetooth and Wi-Fi settings are on my phone, which they always are, and they both have to be on for wireless CarPlay, triggered gesture control once again. But both of those settings have to be on your phone, which they normally are anyway. And then every time you get in your car, it automatically connects to CarPlay, and it's automatically available for you to use. And it's very simple. Now, here's one thing that does get people a little bit confused, and I'm going to walk you through that now. I have CarPlay up at the moment, but if I go back to the main BMW home screen, like I click the home button here down the iDrive system, Apple CarPlay is obviously now gone, and I have the regular iDrive 7. Now, some people get a bit confused. Is this CarPlay? Am I using CarPlay? How does this work? But it's very simple. This is the iDrive menu, and if you want to get back to CarPlay, there's just a little that says Apple CarPlay, a little button right at the top left of the iDrive screen. You can either use your rotary dial here to navigate to that, and just kind of go over, or you can just press it. And that makes life a lot easier. So you can have both systems work really, really well, and this allows you to go back into your car settings and change any settings that you want with the car or anything like that, and then easily just go right back to Apple CarPlay, and now you have CarPlay back up and all of your apps, and it's incredibly easy to use. One thing to note though, if you use any sort of navigation system through CarPlay, such as Google Maps or Waze, it won't show up in your main instrument cluster. So if you use the main BMW navigation, it will, and it kind of does. You have a little map here, and that's nice, but the navigation will not show up in there if you use one of your Apple CarPlay navigation apps. It doesn't kind of cross over. So that's the only oddity there. But otherwise, it's incredibly simple. I honestly can't live without it anymore in any modern car, and I would highly recommend using it. So that is Apple CarPlay in a nutshell. It's easier to use than you think. It's easier to set up than you might think, and I honestly can't live without it.